This is the unexpected showdown that no one saw coming, but it's been the talk of the boxing world for weeks. Just hours after a fiery exchange in the media, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez took their rivalry to new heights, bringing the tension straight to the airport. Here's what went down. The rivalry ignited a few days ago after Crawford's win over Madoff, when he made it clear he was targeting Canelo for a fight. During an Instagram live session with Turkey ALO Sheik, Crawford and Sheik called Canelo out publicly.
Yes! Let's go! Canelo, come on!
You heard it from him.
We are ready.
Yeah, just put me in the game, coach. Just put me in the game. Canelo.
Since then, Crawford hasn't held back, calling Canelo a duck for avoiding serious talks about the fight. This jab was aimed at Canelo's reluctance to step into the ring with Crawford, about many see as one of boxing's biggest potential matchups. When asked about Crawford's challenge in a post-fight interview after Edgar Berlanga's match, Canelo responded with a cold, no comment.
Internet with Turkey ALO Sheik calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
However, when the pressure mounted, Canelo dismissed the challenge entirely, claiming Crawford was too small and the fight would be too easy. He made it clear that he didn't see Crawford as a serious threat, saying the fight wouldn't be worth his time.
Heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat.
That could have been the end of it, but Crawford wasn't backing down. Tensions escalated when they crossed paths at the airport, both with their teams, but neither willing to let things slide. Crawford, still irked by Canelo's "too easy" comment, reportedly confronted him, and things quickly turned physical.
Realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business.
This turn of events is surprising, considering Crawford had previously respected Canelo's performance against Berlanga. Canelo dominated the fight, knocking Berlanga down early and proving again why he's a top pound-for-pound fighter. Despite Berlanga's resilience, Canelo showed his dominance in the super middleweight division. Even Crawford, watching from the sidelines, acknowledged the Mexican champion's skill. Crawford shared his thoughts on Canelo's performance. I went to the Canelo-Berlanga fight, then to the UFC event. Canelo did what he always does, put on a great show. Berlanga showed a lot of heart, too, making it an exciting fight. Crawford's respect for both fighters was clear, but his drive to face Canelo was just as evident. Even after moving up to super welterweight, Crawford is determined to make the fight happen, even if it means facing Canelo 2 divisions above his current weight.
They're two great pound-for-pound fighters, and they feel like, it makes sense, and they want to fight each other. Stylistically, it's a great fight. But, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, to make the big...
Crawford's victory over Israel Madoff was his first fight in 8 years to go the distance, raising questions about whether his power is diminishing as he moves up in weight. Madoff, a tough opponent, pushed Crawford to the final bell, making it a competitive fight. While Crawford's power is still one of his key strengths, the real question now is how it will fare against someone like Canelo, who has shown time and again that he can withstand the hardest punches.
Couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Jaime Munguia couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Triple G couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Kovalev couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Berlanga couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Daniel Jacobs couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Caleb Plant couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. ¿Qué Buck Crawford le va a hacer a ese tigre? Ustedes no vieron Buck Crawford versus Mashromov. What power did Buck Crawford have? Put me in the game, coach. No, you're the 15th man in the roster. You will sit in the bench.
Despite these doubts, Crawford remains confident. I've been wanting this fight. It's a legacy fight, the biggest in boxing right now, Crawford said. I feel like this is the last of the Mohicans. 2 top 3 pound 4 pound fighters facing off would be massive.
This fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. You know, we both coming in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So I think this fight will be massive.
Crawford continues to exude confidence as he discusses the potential bout. He acknowledges Canelo's size advantage but insists it doesn't intimidate him, it actually motivates him. For Crawford, facing a challenge like Canelo is what boxing is all about. I know Canelo is bigger than me, but I'm up for the challenge, he said. If he steps into the ring with me, it'll be electrifying. Of course, I'll beat him. I have no doubt I can beat anyone in the ring. Crawford's impressive career record speaks to his confidence, but a fight with Canelo would push him to new limits. Canelo is known for his power, experience, and IQ in the ring, having defeated top fighters across various weight classes. A fight against Crawford, who has dominated in lighter divisions, would be a dramatic clash of styles, skills, and physical attributes. Canelo has yet to decide on his next opponent, but after his fight with Berlanga, he mentioned taking time off before making any decisions. This leaves the door open for a potential showdown with Crawford.
Terence, any chance your kids to become UFC champions?
No,
Why not?
they don't pay you enough.
The situation continues to evolve. While Berlanga may have earned what some call a moral victory by going the distance with Canelo, the latter still left his mark without delivering the knockout fans have come to expect. This marks the 4th consecutive fight where Canelo floored his opponent but left with a decision victory. For someone with Canelo's legacy, some critics are beginning to question if he needs a true challenge to reignite his career. That's where Terence Crawford sees an opportunity. Known for his precision, speed, and IQ, Crawford likened a potential fight with Canelo to the iconic 1983 bout between Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran, but this time, Crawford confidently predicts the smaller fighter wins. Critics have started to make their voices heard. After his loss to Dmitry Bivol in May 2022, Canelo faced a string of talented but not quite top-tier opponents. He was a heavy favorite against Berlanga, and there's growing sentiment that Canelo needs a serious challenge to reignite excitement in his career. Crawford sees this as his opening. He has compared moving up to face Canelo to the iconic Hagler-Duran fight, except this time, he believes the smaller man, himself, will come out on top. But before a potential showdown with Canelo can happen, there's another challenge on the horizon for Canelo, a possible rematch with Dmitry Bivol. If Bivol defeats Artur Beterbiev, the rematch with Canelo could be on the cards. Things are heating up. Canelo has always been eager for a challenge, and his loss to Bivol still stings. Nothing was right in that fight for me, Canelo has said, referring to a wrist injury he sustained prior to their bout. The idea of Canelo returning to settle the score with Bivol intrigues many, but there's a real risk of history repeating itself. Bivol's dominant performance in their first fight showed just how tough he is for Canelo's aggressive style.
Canelo had the options for rematch, he didn't use it. Now he gonna fight again against someone, not for me. I don't know if he wants to fight me or not, but I'm not.
Even if a rematch happens, Canelo could find himself in unfamiliar territory as the underdog. Bivol is slightly favored against Beterbiev, a fighter with a perfect knockout record. Bivol has that ability to beat Beterbiev, Canelo said, acknowledging Bivol's skill, but his focus remains on a potential rematch. If Bivol loses to Beterbiev, the rematch could fade, but even if Bivol wins, there's still the issue of the weight class.
One guy comes to mind. Was there one person who was the ball maybe? Just to get the rematch? Bivol maybe?
Bivol is one of the guys I have my rematch now to Like I say,
Canelo is eyeing a rematch with Bivol at 175 pounds, where Bivol previously defeated him. However, Bivol, now confident after beating Canelo, has suggested a rematch at 168 pounds, where Canelo holds the undisputed super middleweight title. This weight class debate may seem trivial to casual fans, but for elite fighters, the extra pounds can be crucial. Canelo has the upper hand, though. His status as the biggest payday for Bivol could convince the Russian fighter to accept a rematch on Canelo's terms. Meanwhile, Canelo is also hearing calls from young Mexican-American fighter David Benavidez, who has been eager for a fight with him. Despite Benavidez's strong performance against Alexander Gvozdyk, Canelo remains indifferent. "I'm fighting at 175, and I don't look the same at 168, Canelo said, dismissing the possibility of facing Benavidez anytime soon. However, there's still one wildcard, Terence Crawford. The 37-year-old former undisputed welterweight champion recently made his debut at 154 pounds, narrowly defeating Ismail Madov. Despite a less-than-dominant showing, Crawford remains confident that Canelo is his next big challenge. While the size difference is concerning, Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds, while Canelo has been competing at 168 pounds or higher for years. Crawford is unshaken. "Being bigger doesn't win fights," Crawford said, emphasizing his belief that skill can overcome Canelo's physical advantages. A fight between Canelo and Crawford would be massive, likely the biggest non-heavyweight bout in boxing today. Despite the size difference, Crawford views it as a legacy-defining opportunity, one he believes he can win. "It's a legacy fight, and it's a fight I can win," Crawford said, with confidence backed by his impressive career. For Canelo, fighting Crawford would present its own intrigue. While Crawford is a proven star, Canelo has pointed out that if he beats Crawford, it might not carry the same weight as previous victories. "He's smaller," Canelo said, dismissing Crawford's threat. However, it seems that Canelo's motivation has shifted, no longer solely about legacy, but perhaps about securing one final massive payday before retirement. "If the money's right, why not?" Canelo said, acknowledging the reality of making big money fight. Crawford, on the other hand, remains confident. He's not worried about Canelo's power and size, believing that his reach and speed could be key factors in overcoming those differences. Still, Canelo's frustration with the repeated questions about this matchup suggests that he may be growing tired of Crawford's pursuit. Canelo has set a $150 million price tag for the fight, indicating how highly he values himself in this potential bout. Crawford, however, is unwilling to back down, even though the chances of the fight happening seem slim. Canelo's response to Crawford has been clear: he won't take the fight unless the terms are right. At the peak of his career, with a legacy that speaks for itself, Canelo's dominance across multiple weight classes makes him a formidable opponent for anyone, especially someone like Crawford, who is naturally smaller. Crawford may think he only needs to worry about Canelo's size and power, but it's Canelo's tactical brilliance and ability to adjust mid-fight that could pose the biggest challenge for him. Canelo has bulldozed opponents who entered the ring with similar confidence, and Crawford will need more than just speed and reach to overcome that. Despite this, Crawford's track record of 41 wins and no losses, including 31 knockouts, gives him ample reason to believe in his chances. His willingness to face bigger opponents and his unshakable belief in his abilities have made him one of the best in boxing. Still, some believe that Crawford may be biting off more than he can chew. Canelo isn't just a bigger guy, he's a dangerous fighter with a unique blend of power, technique, and experience that could challenge Crawford in ways he's never faced before. Some critics argue that Crawford's pursuit of Canelo is more about chasing a big payday before retirement rather than building his legacy. For Canelo, fighting Crawford may feel like a step backward, but for Crawford, it's about creating a legacy that could define his career. The question remains, will this fight happen, or is it just another pipe dream?